What's going on, guys? Danny Cruz here.
Chelsea Rain.
Welcome to episode 3 of WBW Unfiltered. We were laughing earlier. This is obviously the second take of this video. We kind of went longer than expected, but it is what it is. We're going to try to make sure everything is as condensed as can be, but we're going to hit on the point that we wanted to talk about.
Put your disclaimer out first.
Yes. Viewer discretion is advised. So, parents, put the badass kids to bed. Yeah, so we're going to jump right into it. This is part 2 of Professionalism. Take 2 of part 2. So, okay, we were laughing in the first take, and we're going to share why. Social media can be something, it can be a great tool, and it can be a tool for complete destruction of everything, not just one particular career, one particular person, just everything in general. We were laughing because she just so happened to stumble upon one of those speak out posts, and it had to do with somebody we had did business with in the past, JB Cool, who is or was the promoter of Fighting Evolution Wrestling, which now is transitioned into All Caribbean Wrestling. So I guess she stumbled upon a few posts and screenshots of everyone's individual stories, mostly being women and how uncomfortable they felt in their time being around him.
Time for my disclaimer. This is not by all means anyway a defense for JB, because it's just not. This is more in the fact of the actions that are going on social media, right?
Right. Just because you post something doesn't always make it true. And I'm not saying that because of what the women were posting. What I'm saying is people lie. I was watching House before this. And if those of you guys who know anything about House, one of his quotes is everybody lies. So reading these posts, seeing these posts, hearing these stories from both women and some of the men that had their experiences with him, obviously not everyone's experience is going to be the same. Some people will have harsh, unprofessional experiences that unfortunately do take place and have been posted. And then you have other experiences like us, for example, where, I mean, we didn't have long-term business, but the 3 or 4 times we worked together, we never had no issue. For whatever reason, maybe I wasn't pretty enough. Maybe, I don't, I don't know. But in all seriousness, like I think it was just more of the circumstances that took place. To the women that feel and have felt that way, it is unfortunate. And I want to open the floor to you as a woman feeling that, and just as a wrestling fan, promoter, CEO, whatever, just kind of share what you because you mentioned it. So you share
right.
what you feel this is doing to the business overall.
I basically said that when I saw the post, it wasn't so much about the fact that it was about JB, but more of the fact that this is not rare anymore as far as people trying to destroy one another in the business, that it's become a complete turnoff. Someone who is excited about going to shows and seeing people you haven't seen in a while that are really cool with you, and it's just that excitement to put on a good show and a good match. It's taking away from that all this destruction that's going on social media. As a woman, who has been in many locker rooms, I myself conduct myself in a way that people are going to respect me. Not just because I'm married, not just because you're my husband, but because me as a woman, I just
You better fucking fear me. Not just joking.
Okay.
I had to.
Okay, I get it. I'm just saying that I conduct myself as a lady. Like, I can joke with people, but I don't need to be overly sexual. I don't have to be all, oh my God. I don't have to do none of that because it's unnecessary. That's not the attention that I'm trying to get. I want the attention and the respect as who I am, who my character is, again, in my situation. As far as the turnoff comes off, I just don't see what is the point of these companies going at one another, because initially you don't begin a wrestling company to be a rival to someone else, right? Because that's wait, let me finish. That's not the initial thought process. Like, you go into business because you love the business, right? That's supposed to be the mentality, and sometimes it's not.
Supposedly.
But this is okay. We're gonna use us for an example, okay? Mm-hmm. You started Warrior Breed as a thought, right? It was a thought. One day when I'm not wrestling anymore, I can pass down what I've learned to other people. The future, I want to start. When I do my school, I want it to be called Warrior Breed Wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. It just so happened that came to fruition quicker because doors were slammed. Doors were slammed in your face. So you know what you did? And I'm standing there.
I'm going to go there.
I'm standing there watching.
She opened the door. I'm going there.
Hold on. The door was closed. And what did we fucking do? Break down a whole fucking path and made it your own. Mm-hmm. Right? So now, fuck it. You don't want me there. You want to believe bullshit and nonsense and rumors, which is, things that destroy relationships that are flourishing, that could have been good. You want to believe rumors? Okay, no problem. I don't need to go there because I can do it myself.
I'll go there. Fuck it.
Jesus. I'm trying to say the purpose, right? The purpose of starting your own business was because, not only because the door was closed in your face, not only because it was over fucking rumors, but you did it because it was a thought before it even happened. Mm-hmm. Because you loved this business from the age of 5. You wanted to become a wrestler. You are a second generation wrestler. Your grandfather was a wrestler. Okay? You have a passion for this business that I have not seen in other people the way I see it in you. It's a vision, right? So you did it for the love of the business, not to go into competition with that door slammer. Okay? That wasn't your thought process. You were like, fuck it. If you don't want me, I can make my own way. Mm-hmm. And that thought process, other people doing it, it's not, if your thought process is, I'm coming in to just be competition and get into competition with other people, then you're fucking going about it the wrong way. And you're fucking up this business and you have no business being a part of it, of this industry. Like, get the fuck out. You and your 3 letters with no ring, with no nothing. Just get the fuck out. You're a nuisance. You're irrelevant. Right? So why is it that you take your time to count on other people's pockets and what they're doing in their promotion? Why are you taking your time to dig into people's past? Why are you listening to rumors when you're not hearing it from the horse's mouth? It's become a complete fucking turnoff. It's like you're in the middle of having great fucking sex and you're right about there, and then all of a sudden there's that fucking move. And it's like, why did you do this to me? I was enjoying this. Now y'all done fucked that up. It's a turnoff. It's a turnoff. Bunch of men arguing about who can work with who and who shouldn't work with who and why they shouldn't work with them, and fucking thought buckets hanging out in the fucking locker rooms and people calling them fucking ring rats, and the gossip and the nonsense is a fucking turnoff. This used to be professional wrestling. And it's not to say that there wasn't bullshit in the past and there's not going to be bullshit in the future. It's just like, when do you reel it fucking in and actually get back to wrestling? Just wrestling. having a good time, putting on a good show, making some money. I shot my shot.
All right.
Before we made it there, but
so you
I just say.
So you had your moment of shoot straight. All
Right.
right.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Why? I mean, it is unfiltered. If kids are watching, then that's on the parents. You know better. We done gave that disclaimer. I mean, they probably know what the fuck we're talking about anyway. So going off of what you said, I don't have no shame in it. I'm going to say it because I think it's long overdue. I don't give a fuck. It needs to be said. 10 years ago, we moved down here from New York, Jersey. I started training with CCW back when it was Rusty Brooks, rest in peace, Rocky Johnson every now and then, rest in peace, and Paulo Marquez. I was paying for training. And the people who helped us move down here was a promoter. He booked us in 2014, very first time being out here. 6-8 months later, he helped us move down here. So I had already had 3 years in. I already had shows, I already had a character, everything was established. But I found a place to train. A year in of being there, training, and refreshing and polishing up my skills, a rumor went around saying that I was trying to train the students.
In the imaginary ring we owned.
Mind you, I didn't own anything. I didn't own anything.
At that time.
I was working 2 jobs, and they knew this. 2 security jobs. I do an overnight job, then drive from that job to the next job, and then finally go home, shower, and then go to training. Sometimes I would have to leave training early just so I can get some kind of rest before doing it all over again.
Right.
My level of effort, passion, commitment has been unmatched for a while. Because I look at my peers, and some of them have told me in private conversation, I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you do it. You put your mind to it and you focus on it, you can do it.
Right.
But as she mentioned, it's too much bullshit going around that focus is lost. It's like, what was it, a Karate Kid? Your focus needs more focus?
I say that all the time.
Your focus needs more focus.
Your focus needs more focus.
Because if you're worrying about the next person and what they got going on, whether personal or professional, how is that benefiting
if you're
you?
Listening and believing to rumors that sometimes they haven't even met the person and they're believing.
But
shit.
well, that's also that.
So,
see, but that happens when you know somebody longer than you know somebody else, or you've never met versus someone you've known a long time. It's easier to believe the person you've known because that's who you know. You don't know this person, so it's like the fear of the unknown, right? So when we talk about professionalism, and the meaty part of the portion of this episode has to do with the overall locker room etiquette. As she mentioned, a lot of females, they come and go into locker rooms. Some of them present themselves in a very flirtatious and sexual manner, and that's fine. If that's what you choose to do, that's on you. But now you have to understand that this door swings both ways. You can't call somebody a creep when you flaunting your shit out there like that. That's number one. Number two.
It's called a ringlet.
Yeah, well. Number two, for those who actually have issues where they are just going there to do their job and they're being pushed up on by whether a worker or a promoter, that's a separate topic. I'm not talking about that. That obviously needs to be addressed. And with the posts that have been going on over the years, it's being addressed. But the problem with a lot of the workers, the boys, so to speak, is that we ourselves are kind of like what they, I forgot who it was that said it. We're kind of like our own prostitute. Like, we're willing to work with whoever just to get an opportunity. We don't care about anything.
Be careful what you call people. They get offended easily.
Listen, I don't give a fuck who gets offended. There's no reason to get offended. This isn't geared towards any one person specifically. It is what it is. 95% of the companies in Florida all use the same talent. And guess where all of this talent is coming from? Majority of you guys live within the Tampa, Orlando, Ocala, Brandon, Bradenton region. That is a very big chunk of Central Florida that's being targeted with 30 different companies and 95 different wrestlers that all work together. So you guys share multiple locker rooms across that region alone. These issues that, I'm only talking about Florida right now. This issue doesn't stem from South Florida. This issue doesn't stem from the Pensacola, Tallahassee area. You may have a couple, but where everything's stemming from right now is that Central Florida area. I don't know if it's the water or you guys are just that.
I was talking about that shit earlier.
What?
There has to be something in the water.
Listen, I don't know. I truly don't know.
Like, since we moved out to Florida, like, the drama, the bullshit, the way people behave, like, that shit would never rock up north. Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Listen, the locker room is not Match.com. It's not Tinder. It's not fucking... It's not that.
No.
If you
it's
want...
not high school.
Listen, if you want to date somebody, you want to, get it on with somebody, get their number, get their Instagram, whatever, meet up with them, go do your thing. When you're at a show, when you're in somebody's locker room, I don't give a shit if the fucking show is adult friendly or whatever. The whole idea is to still conduct yourself like professionals. Don't give anyone any ammo to use against you. Like, yo, you saw what this bitch was doing? Yo, you saw how he was pushing up on her? Yo, isn't he married? Yo, isn't he? You don't want that. Because guess what? There's always that somebody that passes it along. And not just the Florida locker rooms. Guess what? You guys go to Georgia, you go to Texas, you go to Tennessee, you go to New York, you go to other countries. And now you're bringing all that shit everywhere.
It's not just them. It's that when those people that come from outside in,
right, they're watching,
see what's going on,
and then they go back. Yo, you had to see what happened here. Yo, this girl was this and this, and this dude was this and this.
Heard, yeah.
It's a small world, guys, and you know this. So, my shoot straight part. Warrior Breed Wrestling was not supposed to be started. Was not supposed to exist anytime soon, because I'm still young enough to still wrestle. Obviously, I do still wrestle, so. It started off, like she said, rumors. We came down here in 2015. I trained under Pablo Marquez, Rusty Brooks, rest in peace. And occasionally Rocky Johnson would come and train with us. May he rest in peace. Within a year, between 2015 and by the summer of 2016, I was no longer welcome back. Off of a rumor that I was trying to train his students. Keep in mind, I had no ring, I had no trailer, I had no facility. Where that thought even came from, I don't know.
The problem is the lack of discussion. Personally, this is what I mean. That professionalism should also come with maturity, right? So, as a mature individual, you would take the time to have uncomfortable conversations and be okay with whatever the outcome is. Right? So, Danny, I heard this and this and that was going on. I don't know who told you that, but it's not true. Where, how, let's use some common sense. This is how the conversation should have went.
But this is how misunderstandings happen too.
Let's continue to work.
Right. This is how misunderstandings happen, because the game of telephone, we all know that it never is repeated the exact same way.
Well, it's not telephone anymore.
That's number one. Number two, if you didn't hear from the person directly, why are you already mad? I can understand if you heard it from them directly and then you felt the kind of way. See, because that, again, we live in that social media era where everybody's offended about something. Everybody's butthurt about something. Everybody needs to re-clarify something so that the others can understand what the fuck is being meant versus how it's interpreted. I've said this the last episode. How you interpret what I say or what we say, that is completely and totally up to you. I can't interpret what I mean for you. I'll clarify the best way I can. I'll try to dumb it down as dumb as I can make it. And again, it's not to insult your intelligence. But if you cannot understand the very basic form of what we're saying, then you need to go read a book somewhere. A wrestling locker room should not be somewhere you should be at. No. Go home, read a book, sit down, pray, something. The locker room is not Match.com, is not Tinder. Okay, this isn't a Diddy party. We're not trying to do orgies. We're not doing that. Okay, if that's the type of shit you like, set that appointment up with whoever you want to get it on with and go do that. So we saw the JB post. This isn't the first time we've seen it. I've seen it a few times actually. But it's also other promoters.
Right.
You know, we again, the situation going on with WWN and Sal, you know, and NCW. I work with NCW. I've worked with WWN in the past. Now the thing is, NCW, the rumor is they're calling their WWN's Roadhouse venue and basically trying to sabotage them. And I believe Sal's the promoter or whatever. He kind of put it out there that anyone who chooses to work with NCW will no longer be able to work with them.
Look, at the end of the day, it's independent wrestling. You can't control what the wrestlers do. If you have an issue with another promoter, that should stay between the promoters. Like, listen, I heard blah, blah, blah. Again, coming back to that mature conversation, let's have a sit down and let's talk about this. Is this true? Did this happen? You know, like, hash that shit out. But when you start involving workers who are out there just trying to make some bread, get some experience, trying to show their talents off, listen, why are you screwing up with their shit because you can't get your shit right?
For you guys that are workers, right? I hate using that term because no one really works anymore.
Talent. I don't know.
Anyway, I say that because a lot of you guys, anyway, workers it is. And the reason why I say that loosely is because, again, you guys don't
watch the first part of this,
and
then you'll understand.
You don't work towards the crowd, which is part of professionalism. That I guess will be part 3 of this professionalism thing. Mm-hmm. The whole goal for the workers is to bring the crowd in so that they can showcase themselves to them, entertain them, give them a reason to come back, give them a reason to buy your merchandise, etc., etc. So when you now have to choose, damn, if I go here, I can't work here. If I go here, I can't work here. That shit shouldn't be on your mind. If you are good and you're training and you're grinding, people are going to see it. Other promoters, whether it be in this state or any other state, they're going to see it and they're going to reach out to you. But when you start to take sides, it's like, oh, so you're not in it for the business. You're in it to be a part of that clique.
The bullshit. And this is what I've noticed, right?
There's too much of that shit
there's
going on.
There's so-called loyal people who try to back up, certain promotions, right? I get being loyal, right? Because I posted our first poster today. Mm-hmm. Our first official poster for Evil Intentions, the first one. And I was like, how many in here have been our day ones, right? So Kai commented, he goes, including you and Danny, 5, right? Anyway, so I get the loyalist, right? But at the end of the day,
but if you're sabotaging them,
if it's listen, right? That's where I'm getting with that. Like, if you're a worker you shouldn't get involved, regardless of how loyal you are to them. It's one thing if you talk to them behind the scenes and you're like, yo, everything's going to be all right. You're trying to encourage them, trying to be a voice of reason. But to publicly get involved, you're shooting yourself in the foot at the end of the day.
Not only that, the fans.
That you're a gossip person too, and then it leads to that.
The fans are the ones you guys have on your pages, whether it be the business page, your fan page, or your personal page. They see this, they get involved, and now it's like you just open the door for fans to get involved in shit they shouldn't be knowing about. So some of them will be turned off. Some of them will be worried as to whether or not they should go to the show. And hopefully nothing goes wrong. And then you do have the fellow gossipers that'll gossip along and continue to light the fucking the fire more. It don't need to be that way. If you guys aren't getting paid, because that seems to be the thing that everybody talks about. Oh, you know, what's the payday? Well, you know, here's my rate. Stop. I said this last episode. Most of you guys still work for free. WWN is a place, if I'm not mistaken, where you train and you put on your performance, 5 minutes, whatever, and it's usually free. Okay? I haven't been in a couple of years. Maybe it's changed. That's fine. But overall, there are places that still exist where people still go and work for free. So do not post up, I know my worth, or know your worth, hashtag this and hashtag that, when in reality, you don't even know your worth. You don't know your worth. How can you tell me I'm 100, I'm this, I'm that, and I just saw you last week working for free? Remember, the Indies is a very small community, even if it does expand all around the world. Because of social media, all it takes is one message, and now I know everything about you, and vice versa. So, professionalism, the meaty part, is, you know, having the professional gear, having, you know, a gear bag, learning how to conduct yourself in a locker room, which is professional etiquette, locker room etiquette. You know, and then going out there and performing. You're not performing for the boys. You're performing for the crowd. This is that meaty part that we wanted to get into, and I'm going to keep this on the shoot straight part, because the truth of the matter is 95% of the workers today do not work for the crowd. Straight up. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But the attendance shows, the ticket sales shows, the rival promotions, talking shit about people dressed up as empty chairs, it all shows. There wouldn't be a need for all of that if you guys were doing your job the right way. Interact with the crowd. Give them a reason to buy your merchandise. Give them a reason to come back. It's not rocket science. And I've said this in lives before. I've said this in older episodes of this. I've said it in written posts. I've even shared, literally, how to, you know, build your fan base on social media. You guys surround yourself with drama. And drama seems to be the new focus of indie wrestling. Because in Connecticut, it's the same shit. Promoter sabotaging promoter, workers sabotaging workers, workers choosing sides with promotions. It happens in Texas. It happens everywhere. It's a weird thing. Like, the territory days are over, but you would still think that it exists because of how much clicking is going on. And as far as Florida is concerned, 90% of you guys are coming from that Central Florida region. So I don't know if it's in the water, if it's in the food, if it's the fucking cows, if it's the heat, the alligators. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes it's people who are just popping up making companies because they're not getting booked anywhere. So they might as well make their own company, put 3 letters together, rent somebody's ring, and say, hey, I got a promotion, because they're not being booked anywhere else.
Well, not being booked comes from
not being professional and not having your shit together. Period.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
I see none.
Where's the lie? That's the honest truth. When you choose to involve yourself with drama, when you choose not to better yourself in the ring, better your physique or whatever, what are you worth? You're not worth anything you say you're worth, because your last match was a year ago. You stung to join out. You didn't sell tickets. Your gear looked like shit. And you in the back fucking around. You know how many locker rooms I've been in where I've seen that? Both men and women. Acting like a bunch of... Like if this is Love and Hip Hop. and their own version of Cardi B. This ain't it. Going forward, there needs to be a real structure. One of the things we talked about before this, I would say in the summertime, was if you guys who are watching, who this shoe would fit, don't worry, it's a lot of you. If you guys don't get your shit together, and I've shared this so many times, what ends up happening is the state gets involved. I've shared this. A few other people have shared this very same thing. The reason why I say this is because when the government, you know, the people you don't like, when they get involved and they create or add pro wrestling under the athletic commission officially, a lot of you guys are going to go away. Even some of us who've been around company-wise will go away because the expenses that will come from that. I want to put this in perspective for you guys so you guys can take this wherever you are and maybe share it so that that doesn't happen. In the state of Florida, all of the major companies are here. I'm sure they see and read and you know, some of our posts in the drama, they see it, they know about it. You don't think that they're watching, but everybody's watching. There's always somebody watching.
I've said it before.
So whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snap, there's always somebody. And you won't even know who it is. It won't be people we know and see on TV. No. That'll be too easy. It's always the random Joe you don't even know who it is. They hear, they see, they read the bullshit. You lose out on the opportunity. When they see that it continues and it continues and it continues, and people start making phone calls, and
you're the common denominator.
And the drama, the legal, the controversy, and what ends up happening is all it takes is for one person who is connected to any part of the local government to say, you know what, we need to bring this up to the governor, the mayor, whatever, and then it's game over. Because you guys don't conduct yourself in professional manners. There's too much, and at least in Florida alone, it has been openly talked about and posted and shown the amount of sexual harassment in just this state alone. That's not even including all of the pop-up companies who don't have any legal documentation. Fuck the equipment. That's obvious. You don't have any, but you don't have any legal documentation. You don't have any business license. You don't have insurance. A lot of these venues, they require that. So by you running, technically unsanctioned, because that's how they would label it, you run the risk of them finding out about it, especially when you have people making calls and sending emails out to the local governments and saying, hey, such and such is happening in this town, in this area. Death match here, this one there. That's all it takes. And then when it happens, who gets fucked in the end? Everybody. Because you guys refuse to do shit professionally. You choose to conduct yourselves as if you're on a fucking ratchet-ass TV show. Okay, you treat each other like gang members. Like, oh, I can't fuck with them because they come from this company.
So, let's also say that, and I think we spoke about this before, it's not just the workers.
No.
The promoters have to also find a way of getting back to being professional. Stop your over complimenting. As a female, because you said as a female worker, as a CEO, as a promoter, I know I don't take those over compliments lightly. I mean, I'm not going around saying that so-and-so overdid it and blah, 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 because I know how to conduct myself. I know how to allow myself to be respected, right? So, as a promoter, it's be professional. You don't need to do the over compliment. You don't need to share the innermost workings of the business with a worker who's going to go and spread your bullshit to other people. It's holding yourself also accountable for your behavior. So it's not just the workers. It's some of these promoters who I see running around during the show like a chicken without a head, joking around, not focusing on their business, not focusing on what needs to be done, you know, have their favorites, so they're only cool with their favorites, you know, just, and showing that to the rest of the locker room, and everybody's like, what the fuck? So it's learning how to be professional also. So it's not just the workers, it's also the promoters.
To the adults. To be accountable. To the adults. Let's act like that. Especially when we are surrounded by kids. You know, this is technically for the kids. Perform for them. Give them something to aspire to be. You don't want to be a role model? Cool, no problem. Not everybody's meant for that. But overall, as workers and promoters, our job is to entertain these people. We need to put on the best possible show for them, to give them a reason to come back. So if your focus is, oh, you saw that show, they couldn't even sell out. Like,
why is that your business? Are you the one who put the money up for the venue and the workers and all that shit? It's none of your business.
Like, I get it.
Focus on your shit.
I get it. You want to have a rivalry, some kind of competitive thing.
Sometimes they don't do that. They just do it for, it's bitch shit. I'm going to say it. It's bitch shit. You know, I hate the fact that it always associates to like, oh, they gossip like women. Not for nothing this day and age. Most dudes act more like bitches than women do.
It's the spandex. I think there's something in the spandex that gets to you.
Yeah, spandex, all right.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, it's like, just be professional on both sides. You'll make more money. You'll make more friends, more relationships.
Quick story. I want to share a story because a lot of you guys don't know this. Back in 2017, 18, I think, I had did a video. I had put a video together of all the companies that I knew of that were running from North, Central, whatever, South Florida, to try to have almost like a big tournament to try to bring the companies together so that we can show the other states, like, yo, if they can do it, we can do it. The purpose behind me doing that was to bring the mainstream eyes back to indie wrestling. Why? Because over the last few years, a lot of these recruits have been from other sports. And what tends to happen is some of these people don't really want it. It just becomes a fallback because they had the right look or they had the level of athleticism that these guys are looking for. So here we are, fast forward to today, one of the mainstream companies, as we know, has the ID program, where it focuses on the independent wrestling scene, where they actually have their own titles that they compete for. And I said this in a live, and I've said this in a written post, and I'll say it here again. If it's not the state or local government getting involved, what do you think is going to happen when that billion-dollar brand makes it so that the only companies that run are the ones with their tag on it? What do you think happens to everybody else?
Sounds like a 1% kind of thing to me.
The writing is on the wall. Some of you guys aren't seeing it. They've bought out multiple competitors over the years. They are partnering with a competitor. What do you think is happening? It's a slow transition. Now their focus is back on the indies. It's only a matter of time. And when there is so much unprofessionalism and sexual harassment and sex offenders and fraudsters and con artists, and when you have all of this shit in the mix, it just makes it so much easier for them. Because if their champion happens to be in one of your locker rooms where there's drama and this one don't like this one and that one don't like this one, then what do you think that champion is going to do? Champion's going to let them know, hey, I don't want to work here. There's too much of this going on. What do you think they will do as a company? Oh, we got to put a stop to that because the reputation is going to continue going down. I need to get in touch with the governor's office. I need it to be a law, whatever. You don't think they got the money for it? They got the influence. They got the money. They got the legal team. Who's stopping them? We have a chance right now to focus on the goal at hand, is to make it there, leave all the little kid bullshit aside, focus on your in-ring training, your in the gym workouts, your fucking your matches, getting paid and going home. That's it. How many tickets were sold? That's none of your business. How many empty seats there were? None of your business. Who's fucking who at the end of the night? None of your business. Go home. Or go back to your hotel and then go home, whatever. Stop worrying about shit that isn't making you any money. How many of the mainstream people have said, yo, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to make friends. And those are the ones making money right now. Matter of fact, one of them is running the biggest company in the world. You know his name. He said it. Another who just returned a few years ago from Chicago said the very same thing. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. So promoters, put the bullshit aside if you can, and let's make money. Workers, put the bullshit and drama, let the shit go. Be professional as you claim to be, and let's go make this money. If you feel that you can use some of your drama as part of a storyline, I mean, we've seen it done many times over the years, and it usually works well because of the level of realism that's in it. Make it to where you make money off of it. People love drama, as we can see. All the fans are responding and clicking up with other promoters and workers. So, why not? But hey, what do I know? So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude take 2 of episode 3, part 2 of Professionalism. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No. Said what I had to say.
Standing 10 toes down.
I said what I said.
So, again, I'm Danny Cruz.
I'm Charles Rain.
WBW Unfiltered. Dubs up. And we're out.